relieved this commander of his duties months after this photo of him went viral for all the wrong reasons. So what's wrong in the image here? The scope of his rifle is on backwards. The Navy released a statement saying Cameron Yaste, the commanding officer of the destroyer USS John McCain, was relieved of duty due to a, quote, loss of confidence in his ability to command the guided missile destroyer that's currently deployed in the Gulf of Oman. The Navy went on to say it holds commanding officers to the highest standards and holds them accountable when those standards are not met. It was back in April when the Navy's official Instagram account posted this photo of Yaste in his firing stance, gripping the rifle with the backward scope. It wasn't long after that Navy image went viral that the Marines posted this photo on their official Instagram page, appearing to mock the mistake. The caption here had read "clear sight picture" with a Marine firing a weapon with the scope correctly in place. The picture of Yaste on the Navy's page was ultimately deleted, and the Navy thanked online users for pointing out the rifle scope error.
Dude. Wait a minute, were those cops? What the hell? Hey, hold on a second. Look at this. Those are two cops right there. They're watching them. They didn't even skip a beat.
Never try to hold someone down who's running from the cops.
There's no one more determined than a mother protecting her own. Meet this feisty little fighter that wasn't letting this guy get away.
Angry mom saying, I hold my kids accountable, and I was treating him like a child, like you're not going nowhere, mister.
That's April Aguirre. She's driving this white car this guy slammed into with her daughter in the passenger seat. Oak Ridge police say old Thomas Mosnes was running from officers who caught him speeding just up 45. He tried getting away, but met the back of April's car, and he wasn't done yet.
He was ready to take off. I don't know how far he would have gotten, but he was ready to take off.
April jumping into action and on top of the guy.
What was he saying?
Please let me go.
Let me go.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking?
Absolutely not.
No way.
Absolutely
Wow.
not. No
That's
way.
incredible.
What really ticked April off is this is a new car she just bought for her college-bound son. Actually, the day this happened, she was picking it up from the shop with new brakes, tires, and spark plugs.
It is a big loss for us because we're not made out of money.
It's a loss she's willing to deal with if it means everyone walks away alive. The reality is, that doesn't always happen.
We've seen these accidents just end so horribly.
The same goes for jumping in to stop an alleged criminal. While April has no regrets, she realizes hindsight is always 20/20.
Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really do appreciate it. And we're going to start our day out in Brooklyn, New York. All right. Okay, the NYPD, I believe, has arrested this person. Off-duty police officer arrested for third-degree assault in Brooklyn. Police officer Darlene Barbier was arrested today. Oh, Darlene. What a bad cop she is. Police officer Darlene Barbier was arrested today at around 3 a.m. in Flatlands and is being accused of third-degree assault and criminal mischief, like only a bad cop would do, New York Police Department officials say. Oh, NYPD, is that all you're going to say? No! Police say Barbier, who was off duty at the time, had a verbal argument that turned into a physical confrontation around 2 a.m. Oh, I wonder if she was sizing someone up. She's accused of pushing an 81-year-old woman who sustained knee, elbow, and back injuries. Pick on someone your own age, Darlene. The confrontation happened near blah, 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 and this and that. Okay. Darlene. No picture? All right. You can just imagine what she looks like, all right? Okay, on with the show, folks.
Shows the moment a woman in Miami Beach was hit while riding her electric bicycle. The victim, 63-year-old Esmat Kaddour, died at Jackson Memorial Hospital from her injuries. Investigators say the driver of this blue Ford Bronco kept driving and never stopped to help. The tragic crash happened on the afternoon of April 28th southbound on Washington Avenue near 11th Street, right outside of the Miami Beach Police Department. According to an 8-page arrest warrant, DeMarcus Harrington was following an acquaintance that was driving another Bronco. Following the crash, the acquaintance tried to convince Harrington to go back, but Harrington replied he was not going back to jail. This person reported what he knew of Harrington to Miami Beach police, which helped lead to his arrest days later. Then on May 1st, the Miami Beach Police Internal Affairs Department received a report of employee misconduct against former officer Edward Covalli. He was accused of failing to respond to the crash. In a statement, Miami Beach Police Chief Wayne Jones says in part, Mr. Cavalli was notified of a hit-and-run crash but failed to respond. Instead of adhering to our protocols by taking immediate action, Mr. Cavalli directed the civilians that reported the collision to enter the police station and file the report themselves. The department says his actions are not tolerated and his employment was terminated immediately.
You can't touch me. You can't touch me.
All new here at 5, an LA County Sheriff's deputy facing federal charges tonight after he pepper sprayed this woman and took her to the ground.
I remember this story. KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers was at the desk. You actually broke this one, and it was a very controversial incident.
Yeah, that's right, Pat and Chauncey. It all started with what was allegedly a robbery, but then the victims claimed, or the victim/suspect claimed that it was more of a shoplifting incident. Regardless, so those deputies responded to that Winco, and we'll show you what happened from there. That's when these deputies got there. They encountered two people. This is actually a security camera video from inside of the Winco, where you see the two allegedly leaving the store without items after allegedly pushing that security guard that you see standing there. That's what prompted the call from the LA County Sheriff's Department. Those two sheriff's deputies got there. They encountered the one male suspect. They started talking to him. There you see him right there in the hat. That is when the woman started filming that officer, or the deputy rather. She then walks up to the deputy and, according to the feds, gave her no warning, no command, just immediately grabbed her phone and threw her to the ground. They then say he put his knee on the back of her neck, began pepper spraying her. They also accuse him of making a misleading radio report saying that he was involved in a fight with the suspect. Now, that deputy, Trevor Kirk of Santa Clarita, is now facing one federal count of deprivation of rights under the color of law. This is a federal charge.
As the murder case against disgraced HPD officer Gerald Goins inches toward trial, prosecutors were dealt a setback on charges against several other officers involved. This all stemmed from the botched Harding Street no-knock raid more than 5 years ago. Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nicholas were killed in that raid. ABC 13's Maya Shea live with what happened in court today, Maya.
Well, this entire Harding Street raid situation has dragged on for so long that it's easy for people perhaps to forget there were a number of other officers who are also involved and charged in cases related to this. So some of those charges were actually quashed in court today, and this is what we can tell you. First, to be clear, the murder charge against Gerald Goins, the lead case agent in the botched Harding Street raid, remains. Jury selection in his case is scheduled to start this Friday. However, in court today, the judge overseeing a variety of other charges against other officers quashed a number of them. Specifically, officers charged in an alleged overtime scheme related to the raid had their charges thrown out. The judge ruling the indictments were overly broad. The Harris County District Attorney's Office told ABC 13 they will refile the charges, similar to what happened when the judge quashed the Goins murder charge a few months ago. They refiled those charges, and he was re-indicted on the murder charge.
Okay. I can only imagine what one of my favorite commenters, Ann Onmouse, is going to say about this story. Okay, corrections officer charged with graping an inmate at Framingham Prison. Ann Onmouse is probably going to be like, we should start a winery with all these grapists that keep showing up here on the Bad Apple Report. No, I don't know. Anyways, okay, I can't pronounce this person's name, so we'll call him Joao Gomes, age 49, is facing 4 charges of grape and 3 counts of indecent assault and battery. Oh, Joao. All right. A Massachusetts corrections officer was arrested Wednesday on charges that he sexually assaulted a female inmate multiple times at the state prison in Framingham, the authorities announced. Joao Gomes, age 49, of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, has been indicted in Woburn Superior Court on 4 charges of grape and 3 counts of indecent assault and battery related to multiple alleged incidents involving the inmate MCI Framingham, the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office said in a statement. Okay, Gomes is also charged with 3 counts of delivering articles to prisoners in a corrections institute for allegedly purchasing underwear for more than one inmate in the prison. Whoa, what are you wearing? Okay, according to the DA's office, Gomes is being charged under a statutory provision enacted as part of 2022 police reform law, which allows law enforcement officers who have sex with indecent assault or indecent assault someone in their custody, they're in big trouble. Okay. Gomes was arrested in his home in Rhode Island. Oh, I bet that was uncomfortable, Gomes, the DA's office said. His appearance in Middlesex Superior Court has yet to be scheduled. Oh, Gomes. Well, Gomes, you have a new home, and your new home is right there at your old work. It's going to be great. All right. It's going to be grape. Uh-oh. On with the show.
2022. April Woodside was hired by the Summit County Sheriff's Office to work as a deputy at the jail. Just 4 months into the job, records show she began sending these risque photos of herself to a male inmate. According to investigators, when questioned about it, Woodside admitted to having sex with the prisoner. A deputy having sex with an inmate is a third-degree felony. Ohio law states it's illegal for someone to have sexual conduct with another when the other person is in custody of law and the offender has supervisory or disciplinary authority over the other person. She was fired immediately, and records show the incident was reported to the state. Our review of Woodside's internal investigation found she not only admitted to having sex with the inmate, but also smuggling in an iPhone into his cell. Records show investigators then began monitoring messages on the inmate's jail-issued tablet in 2022. They found he and Woodside texted each other more than 750 times in 1 month. Those messages include profane sexual language and dozens of provocative photos of Woodside posing in skimpy outfits. One night, Woodside texted the inmate asking him to prop his cell door open so she could get in to have sex with him without using her key. They even discussed marriage, Woodside sending him this photo of an engagement ring she had already picked out. Meanwhile, 19 Investigates discovered Woodside was hired this past February as a police officer at University Hospital's Ahuja Medical Center in Beechwood. So how did she get another job in law enforcement after being fired for such serious allegations? The sheriff's office says it's conducting a criminal investigation, but they won't tell us when it began. We do know that Woodside has not been charged with any crimes. We asked UH if they contacted the sheriff's office prior to hiring Woodside. This afternoon, they sent us the following statement. During the hiring process, University Hospital's HR conducted a formal background check and followed standard processes. Nothing of concern, including criminal activity, was found during review. As of this morning, Ms. Woodside was placed on leave while UH conducts its own investigation. And we did reach out to Woodside, but she said she had no comment. Earlier this week, the Summit County Sheriff's Office agreed to speak with us, but they later decided not to. They did, however, confirm the criminal case is still ongoing. 2022.
I don't think we're going to call this guy a bad apple, but we should talk about what ended his career and life. The man suspected of dropping the gun down the drain before the D.C. officer's accidental shooting death was arrested, police say. So an arrest has been made in connection with the accidental shooting death of D.C. police officer Wayne David. The officers arrested 27-year-old Tyrell Lamont Bailey on Wednesday night just before 10:30 p.m. He's been charged with unlawful possession of a firearm. According to police officers with the department's robbery suppression unit, saw Bailey's exiting a suspicious field. Okay, so that they got him, they picked him up. But David, a 25-year veteran of the force, attempted to retrieve the gun. Okay, Officer David attempted to retrieve this gun, and it went off, striking him. The D.C. Police Union said, okay, struck him in the head, and David was rushed to the hospital by police helicopter and later died. Okay, so he's not on the bad apple report for being a bad apple. But everybody, be careful when handling it.
Now to the other news of the day. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman touting his controversial mask ban today, claiming it prevents crimes. On Sunday night, police made their first arrest based on the law. Someone reported a suspicious person in the area, and when police responded, they found a masked man armed with a large knife. Officials believe he was planning to commit a robbery, but the arrest is not swaying critics of the law, who are still moving forward with their legal challenge of the ban. Long Island reporter Shantae Lands live in Mineola with more on this story. Shantae.
Well, David, that class action lawsuit being filed by the New York Disabilities Rights Group. Meanwhile, both County Executive Bruce Blakeman and Nassau County Police touting this, as you mentioned, as a success. Nassau County Police making their first arrest under the county's new controversial mask ban.
He turned around and he said, "I'm wearing the mask. They told me to wear it, and they gave me the knife to do a robbery."
Police say this man, arrested on Spindle Road in Hicksville on Sunday, is a teenager. 18-year-old Weslin Omar Ramirez Castillo of Hicksville was approached by police after they say they received reports of a suspicious man walking. Well, they found him wearing this mask and noticed a large bulge in his waistband, which they say was this 14-inch knife. Ramirez Castillo was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon. And for the first time in Nassau County, he was charged with Title 90 Mass Transparency Act. The teen was arraigned on Monday.
He's born in Guatemala. He entered the country illegally in 2019 over in Texas. ICE has been notified on this individual. He has loose ties to gang affiliations.
Nassau Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder and County Executive Bruce Blakeman touting the arrest as a win.
And it's another tool in the toolbox for our police department. We averted a crime. Somebody could have been stabbed as a result of this.
Hicksville resident and retired law enforcement officer Edwin Elias agrees with the ban.
I think it's helpful. But people are never happy. If you give them protection, they complain. If you don't, they complain.
Other Hicksville residents are concerned.
If it's a surgical mask of some kind, then people who have medical issues, immune suppressed, or elderly people, they should be allowed to wear a mask without question. I don't think they should just stop them.
She's not alone. The local group Disability Rights New York has filed a class action lawsuit against Nassau County, calling the ban unconstitutional and discriminatory towards people with disabilities, because it violates the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act.
We think it's a frivolous lawsuit.
The New York chapter of the ACLU is closely watching.
Masks really will end up criminalizing medically vulnerable people.
And that lawsuit will be heard in federal court by mid-September. Live in Mineola, Shantae Lands, Channel 7 Eyewitness.
A 6-year veteran with Metro Police has been arrested in connection to a child molestation case in Hendricks County. Kamal Bola was arrested Tuesday night on 3 counts of child molestation of a child under 14 and public voyeurism. A family member of the victim reported those allegations to a Hendricks County detective yesterday. IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says that he learned of those allegations this morning and has suspended Bola from the department and is requesting his termination from the Civilian Police Merit Board. Chief Bailey called the allegations against Bola disturbing and unacceptable. His charges could change as they have not yet been formally filed by the Hendricks County prosecutor. Bolin is being held with no bond. We have the chief's full statement regarding this issue posted right now at WRTV.com. And by the way, Bola's arrest marks the 4th time this year that an IMPD officer has been charged with a sexual crime, and it comes within 2 weeks of another IMPD officer, Javed Richards, being charged with several counts of child exploitation and 1 count of possession of child porn.
Well. Looks like Indianapolis Metro PD has a bunch of diddlers in their midst. Obviously, apparently, allegedly. Okay, let's end the show with that, folks. You're so awesome for being here. I really do appreciate it. And as you know, I'm going to whip up another batch of bad apples just for you. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. bright and early. Have a great day, folks.